Hello, welcome back to another video. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be analyzing how Noli would be played and how he fit into the game and how good he'd actually really be. Because there's been a lot of footage going around recently of the devs like testing Noli. So I just wanted to look at this and just like talk about it a little, see how good he can truly be just based off all of this, and hopefully I get some of this right. Maybe some of it will be wrong because I'm not too sure. I checked the wiki, I checked the videos, I analyzed it, and so hopefully we'll see if he's going to be really this good. So let's get started. So let's talk about the passive first. So this is a passive called Fifth Sequence. Basically what it allows him to do is it allows him to go into negative sprinting speed, but when he goes to negative sprinting speed, he gets his like screen to be like more darkened, more glitchy. It just like blinds him for a little bit, and if you get under 30 stamina, he gets stunned for a little bit. So that seems pretty good considering the fact that his base stamina is like 60. I think he has about like 90 stamina, but I think he's actually pretty fast. I think he's going to be one of the fastest killers in the game just based off his moves and his sprinting speed and whatnot. But he also gets the ability to look at every other survivor. He gets like an aura read ability to see every survivor in the game when somebody gets killed. So he does have a way to see people in some sort of way. Not like one of his abilities, but an actual passive. Now, if I were to rank this on best passives in the entire game, this is a pretty good passive. It's not bad. It's not good either, but it's decent to say the least. I would say that it is better. It's not like gonna be like one of the third best. It's like in the middle for passives because like the whole negative sprinting is just kind of just a little bit worse than just regular sprinting overall. But I do think he does take stamina, which is kind of funny low key. But I'm unsure about that too. But hey, if I were to rank this on passives, this is a pretty decent passive to say the least. His first move is a sort of dash in a way. So he gets 2 charges for his dashes. Okay, what am I talking about? But he gets to first dash, he just dashes around and he hits the player for about 8 damage, which seems pretty bad, but here's where the thing gets good. You get another dash right after, where if you hit the player, you do a lot of damage, like about 30, I think. You slam him into the floor and you throw him. Now, this ability, I don't know how it's going to necessarily work. It's going to be like Cool Kid's Walk Speed Override, but without any of the whole, like, because now they made Cool Kid's, like, Override have, like, a little bit of a stun, like, at the beginning, so that he can't really do it instantaneously, but Noli can do his dash instantaneously, which is going to be extremely good for his kit. Now, this doesn't really give any special effects like hallucination. I don't think it will give a hallucination because it's just like him slamming someone into the floor. This is mainly going to be very movement based, and he's definitely going to be probably the fastest killer in the game when he comes out, because this whole like shtick is like teleporting and like dashing around. His dash is really fast. His dash is extremely quick, and there's also the fact that he can actually curve his dash. It's kind of like guess his dash, where you can like turn it a little bit. I think that's how Noli's dash is also going to be. He can turn his dash a little, but it's probably going to be extremely good, extremely like powerful in his kit. It's going to synergize well, I think. But I think the main focus is to grab people from like across the map. It just seems extremely powerful, but but it's more like a high risk, high reward type dash. Unlike Cool Kid's dash, where it's just one hit and then it like does a bunch of damage. This one is more 2 hits and it does a bunch of damage. So it's more like high risk, I would assume. It's not as low risk as Cool Kid's. I mean, Cool Kid does like have a stun at the end. Noli does as well. But the thing with Cool Kids is that it's one and done, that's it. But with Noli, you kind of have to like strategize on when to use your dashes a little bit, because if you only hit the first one, that's basically like no value at all, because you're only doing about 8 damage. So I would think that this one is just a little bit more skillful, even though he does get 2 dashes. But hey, that's just my opinion. His next ability is probably going to be a Void Star throw, where he throws his little Void Star that he holds in his hand and it like explodes on impact, I think. Now this ability is going to be, again, it's going to be like Cool Kid's Corrupt Nature, but it can't go through walls and it just explodes on impact. Now there's a little bit of debate on whether how hallucination is going to work. Actually no, hallucination, no, never mind. I know how hallucinate, I'm just dumb. But what it does is basically you throw it onto the ground or onto a wall, and if it hits the wall or hits the ground and someone's in the hitbox, they also get pulled towards the middle of where it hit, or where it hit, they get pulled towards that area. They can't like run away from it. So like if someone's close to you, as Noli, you throw it onto the floor and they're like running away, then they'll get pulled to the area where the Void Star hit the floor, and then they'll start running again. So it'd be basically like a free hit. It's very kind of complicated, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I don't know how they're gonna work in with like the whole like survivor being like a bomb, because this is one of Noli's original idea, that he just plant like a Void Star in somebody and then they explode. They might use it to where if you hit the player with the Void Star like directly, it will get like injected to them, and then when they walk around, they'll just like explode when near another survivor. But I'm unsure if they're gonna do that even in the first place, because there was no implication that Noli could do that in any of the videos or the Wikipedia. So it's just very interesting to say the least. But I think that Void Star is a very good ranged ability, but it like, I feel like his playstyle is a little bit of a mix between. No, Noli's playstyle just doesn't really have a mix with any other killers. It's going to be very, very different than any other killer in the game. Now, he's definitely very similar to Cool Kid, but Cool Kid's more of like a mix with Jason and John Doe, where he can use his clones to like trap people in an area, but he also has very good chase value, and he can chase down survivors extremely easily with all his movement and his slowing abilities. But Noli is going to be a lot different from that, from what I can see. But his Void Star is definitely a very good ranged ability. Now for his last ability, from what I assume is his last ability, is teleportation. So basically he like winds up a teleportation like ability, and he teleports to any generator he wants, I assume. So he like activates the ability, he picks a generator, and then he like does like an animation, and then he teleports to that generator. But before that generator is like teleported to, or like all generators have this like little like Noli effect come up, and it like yells a really loud voice line to get off the generator, because Noli's coming over there. So when you get off the generator and you run, Noli just comes in, he teleports to the generator. Now from what I can see, Noli's gonna be extremely mobile. He's gonna be like basically everywhere with this ability. Like he could be chasing somebody, he could kill them, and you're like on the other side of the map, and you're like, oh, that's fine, and then he just teleports to your generator right there, and he hits you with an absolutely massive combo. Kaboom, you're just dead. So it's going to be extremely pretty good, I won't lie. It's kind of like 007's teleportation ability, but extremely fast, and it's on a killer. He's definitely a mix between Cool Kid and 007. That's all I can really say. But like the mix between a killer and a survivor that are both like the same is kind of funny. But in the wiki, they did say that Noli does have some history with 007 and Cool Kid, which is actually kind of funny considering the fact that his kit is actually it's actually just like both of their abilities, but just a little bit different. Now the thing with the whole like hallucination, how it's gonna work is if he teleports and you're in like a 25-meter stud radius, he'll inflict hallucination. Hallucination can either like change, like it'll mess with your stamina bar, the timer, your health, and it will like sometimes he'll even drop fake items that if you pick up, it just like it does nothing basically. So it's kind of like that, and then once the hallucination ends, Noli's just gonna be laughing on your screen. Now I'm going to assume if you have hallucination, it doesn't like show like the hallucination status effect on the right side of your screen, but if it does, that's gonna be fine anyways. This is a pretty decent effect, but it's not really game changing any sort of way. It's not like a glitched effect where if you hit him more, you'll do more damage like with 1x, and it's not really burning, which can literally kill a survivor. It's just kind of there to confuse them. It's going to be very effective against noobs, but not really seasoned players that know how to play around the killers and such. Now for his kit, considering the fact that he has like pretty low stamina compared to other killers, I'm going to assume he's going to be pretty fast, around Jason's speed level. And I feel like that his hitbox, his hitbox, like you know how John Doe has a longer windup on his hitbox when he does a melee, and how Jason has one of the shortest. I feel like he's gonna have something in between the middle, because his M1 damage is actually 25. He does 25 damage per M1 hit, which is pretty good, but it's only the third best, because I think Cool Kid does about 26 and John Doe does 28. So if we're gonna take that, I know Cool Kid has like the fastest windup time in the game or something, But even with that, I feel like his wind-up speed is going to be around 0.3 seconds to 0.2 seconds. And in comparison, John Doe's is about 0.4. So it's going to be around that probably. Now, his, like, how his playstyle is going to work is going to be extremely interesting in my opinion. Now, I don't think it's going to be like John Doe where he's a trapper, or like Cool Kid where he's kind of like a chase trapper, Jason where he just absolutely bum rushes you with a chase, or like 1X where he snipes you across the map. I think he's going to be more of like a chaotic type playstyle. What he's going to do mainly is going to be like everywhere. He's going to be like patrolling, putting heavy pressure on every single part of the map due to the fact that he can teleport and he has some of the biggest mobility in the game. So he could be killing somebody and then he just appears behind you and then he smacks you. He's just going to be chaos everywhere. Everybody's going to think that you're there around him, but he's just not there anymore. He's just chasing another guy. He kills them. Then he comes over to the generator rat, and then kaboom, he just kills you again. He's just going to have so much like potential on how he's going to be extremely chaotic. And I think that's how they made him to be, because he is, in general, a chaotic type of killer, chaotic type of person, too. So he's going to be extremely chaos-based. He's going to induce a bunch of like effects. He's gonna just like be there all the time, and you can't really run away, and you can't really do generators while there, because he might just pop up on your generator and then now you have hallucination and you're cooked. So I'm going to assume that all of these facts together, I think that he is going to be an extremely good killer, extremely good on release too. And if they nerf him a little bit, that should be fine. He's going to be still pretty good. Now I think he's going to be more like a John Doe type, where if you start off with him, you're going to be extremely bad. Because John Doe has like an unlimited skill cap or something, I can't remember, but John Doe's really good. And I feel like if you learn Noli to the full extent of learning something like John Doe to the full extent, you're probably most likely going to be really good. It's going to be extremely good. He's going to have a very high skill cap, and if you hit all your shots, you're going to be one of the best people in the game, one of the best killers in the game. And he's going to win matches pretty quickly due to the fact that he has quite a bit of mobility in his kit, or some of the most mobility in the entire game in his kit. So if I were to say the final question, is Noli going to be a good killer? Absolutely. Noli is going to be one of the best killers they've ever released in this entire game. And I mean, it's kind of fair, because they've been working on Noli for quite a bit of time now, and if they don't give him that like love and treatment that they have given the other killers, people are going to be disappointed. So they gave him a lot to compensate for the fact that he's been working, that they haven't been really working on him for quite a while. And also the fact that he's been taking too much time to really release. So I think that's my final statement. Like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you later.